The ingredients I use to make the beef stock are 700 grams of bone-in short ribs, 700 grams of beef shank bones, 1 onion, 1 celery stalk, 1 carrot, half a celery root, 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, 1 bay leaf, 3 garlic cloves, half a teaspoon of kosher salt, and half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. I start by adding my shank bones to a pot of cold water, making sure they're fully submerged. I then turn on the heat and bring the water to a boil. Every so often, I use a spoon to skim off any of the foam that floats on top. This way, all impurities are removed from the bones. After 20 minutes, I remove the bones from the pot of water. I place the short ribs on a roasting pan and drizzle a little bit of olive oil on it. Using a pair of tongs, I rotate it to make sure there's olive oil on all sides. Then I season it with a little bit of salt. After all the short ribs are on the roasting pan, I add my shank bones and drizzle some olive oil on that as well. My oven was preheating to 220 degrees Celsius or 425 degrees Fahrenheit. I then placed the roasting pan in the oven and let the bones and the short ribs roast for 20 minutes. While the short ribs and bones are roasting in the oven, I peeled and sliced a carrot. I chopped a stalk of celery. To make it easier to peel the celery root, I first cut it into discs and peel each one of those. I discard the peel and cut the rest of it into little cubes. Next, I peeled my onion and cut it into big chunks. After the short ribs and bones have roasted for 20 minutes, I remove the roasting pan from the oven and carefully turn the bones and the short ribs. I then add all my cut vegetables to the pan and put it back in the oven to roast for another 20 minutes. After the second 20 minutes have passed, I remove the roasting pan from the oven and transfer everything to the insert of my Instant Pot. I then add a cup of cold water to my roasting pan and using a wooden utensil scrape up all the bits. I then pour all of that into the Instant Pot insert as well. I load the insert into the Instant Pot and I add a bay leaf, the garlic cloves, pepper, and tomato paste. I then added enough water to fill my Instant Pot to the max pressure cooking line. Close the lid, make sure the vent is set in the sealing position, and I cooked it on high pressure for 2 hours. After the 2 hours of pressure cooking was over, I let it do a natural release for approximately 40 minutes and then I released the rest of the pressure. I removed the meat and bones from the pot, keeping the meat separate. Using a spider, I remove all the vegetables from the stock as well. And then, to make sure that my stock is nice and clear, I pour it through a cheesecloth lined strainer. Now my broth is ready to use.